Benchmade 950 Rift, the official Nutnfancy tabletop review coming your way on this excellent folding knife. Previously reviewed, kind of, in the Nutnfancy project. I'm always amazed at a lot of TMPers how they remember every video and all the details. Seriously, it blows my mind. And yes, once upon a time, I did an initial review on the 950. It was kind of lukewarm, to be honest with you. Wasn't a great review. In a lot of ways, I don't think I got all the details absolutely correct on the blade because it was preliminary. It was actually off the cuff. I didn't have any information in front of me. I just went into the store, bam, did an initial tabletop review, something I was trying at the time. And it was actually on this model right here, 950 SBK. Okay, same coloration of handle scales. By the way, I love that coloration. Very handsome. Same one these are wearing. Coated blade, combo edge. I'm not excited about the serrations that Benchmade does, and maybe that was one reason I wasn't super excited about this version. Just my mileage, I don't dig it. And yes, that knife, that particular knife, was very slow deploying. It had some issues. Was it the coated blade? It just wasn't adjusted properly? I don't know, but a Benchmade should be 100% out of the box, if you ask me. For the price you're paying, it should be perfect. It should come out fast, should lock up solid, all the stuff I've always talked about. But at the same time, that review kind of nagged me. I just don't, there's something bugging me about it. I just didn't know if I got the details right, and I wanted to get a hold of a different version of the 950 Rift. The one you're seeing right here. My favorite, actually. The plain edge, satin finish blade, same coloration of handle scales. This is my favorite 950 Rift right there. I've carried it for 6 months now, and now I'm ready for the official Nutnfancy tabletop review. I don't know if I'll get rid of that video. May leave it out there. Don't know. But I'll tell you, some of the criticisms will still stick, the original ones I place against it. And there'll be a couple corrections, I think, too. For one, the speed. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's dive right in. I'll see how quick I can do this review. This is kind of a redo Nutnfancy style POU. I think primarily an EDC knife is a 950 Rift. A little bit big for my EDC purposes. You guys know I like the smaller blades for EDCing, along the lines of a Delica from Spyderco, maybe the Flash 1. A lot of other Kershaw designs I've shown you. A little bit large, but a lot of guys aren't like that. They like a larger knife for EDCing. Maybe it's because what they're doing. Maybe they're ranching or doing some serious cutting tasks where they need a longer blade. This is about a 3.7 inch blade, by the way. EDC, you bet. And with the blade shape, it's going to have a lot of capability. Tactical blade? Oh no, there's that word again. I'm hesitant to recommend the 950 Rift as a tactical blade because it has a complete absence of any meaningful traction plan. Yep, no jimping whatsoever, which basically sucks. You have a little bit of a flare on the handle there that might protect your hand coming forward in a thrust cut. I, again, emphasize might. I don't like it, and more these days, if it lacks that, I'm not going to recommend a blade for tactical use. Tactical being emergency defensive use. You can see my answer as it is usually, not usually, sometimes. I throw some skateboard tape on it. I get that from Lowe's. It's the same material that they sell for covering deck stairs. Just cut it out, straight cut it with some snips, and there you go. And it works. Now with that on the top of the spine, yes, I have some traction. To a tactical level, I don't know. You can use any knife if you really have to. It's just a matter of what you're carrying it for. Again, I think most guys will buy it for EDC and maybe collector. They just like the Rift. They love Benchmades. You guys know I'm a huge Benchmade fan. Love them. The weight. It was an issue on my initial tabletop review, and it still is, kind of. I've relaxed a little bit on the weight issue. 4.8 ounces for the 950 Rift. Against its competition, that's a little bit heavy. Not hugely, and no, it doesn't make a world of difference. It just matters what else you're carrying that day. I don't know, you got your taser with you that day, your gun, your flashlight, your keys. What else you carrying? All that weight adds up real quick. If you're just carrying the knife, who cares? And incidentally, I'll go and tell you this now. I was going to see if I could lighten the 950 up a little bit, and it was one of my project knives. I'm going to use my Stylus Pro tonight for lighting duties. Check out the interior of this 950. Not factory, that's Nutnfancy knife modding. Maybe, definitely not at its best, probably at its worst. I don't think my milling out of the liners was that great of a job. I got rid of about 0.4 ounces is all. And no, I don't recommend you do it, because it takes an extremely hard drill bit to go through those hardened 420J stainless liners of the 950. And I even broke one. Check this out. Busted. 100% carbide drill bit busted on the liner. And I'm lubricating the drill bit going slow as I did it. No joke, and I still broke a bit. Nice. If you guys want to drill out your liners of your knives, use 100% carbide. Seriously. Go very slow as you can. I know, I'm not giving you a great example right here. Another reason I took the knife apart, the rift I'm talking, is and this is kind of jumping forward on the T-piece here, the handle is very sharp on the shoulders. I think I said that in the initial tabletop review. I still think it is. It's uncomfortable. A good representation of it would be in the bone collector. What is it? The 150-20. There it is. It's kind of a big rift, and this has those sharp shoulders on it. I don't hear a lot of guys complain about it, but I don't like it. It's uncomfortable in hand. This also needs to be sanded. And maybe I'll make reference to this blade as the review goes on, but I like the 950 sizing a little bit better. But now that I sanded it, much more comfortable. You almost don't notice it in profile, do you? But I had to take those handle scales off, do it. There you go. Steel. Jumping along in the T-piece. See how quick I can do this review. Wish me luck. 154 cm. It is a favorite of me, Nutnfancy. Has been for a long time. Yes, there's more advanced steels out there, but it's a hard-wearing steel. Hard-wearing. Here's how I know. One, through my years of experience. Excuse me. Also, I took this 950 Rift, which, by the way, is my personal knife, and stabbed it through about 20 layers of taped up cardboard for testing, both to test the edge retention on the Benchmade 154 cm and also to test the stabbing capabilities of the reverse Tonto blade of the 950. Both passed with flying colors. Amazingly so. First up, I was very impressed how easily this thing penetrates into the cardboard. Remember, cardboard is a very stiff media. You know, it's tough on blades. I've said that before. It will dull blades quickly. Great stabbing performance and also great edge retention off the 154 cm as Benchmade puts it together. A great heat treat they put on it. I haven't done anything to the steel after the cardboard test, and I will tell you that this edge is still pretty sharp. Hair shaving, probably not, but amazingly sharp. I don't have any paper here to cut, but let me see if I can have you focus on it with a catalog. Right there. See that edge? I mean, I threw it into that cardboard like, I don't know, 30 or so times. Great performance. Great steel. Not the most rust-resistant steel out there. Again, from my own personal experience, yes, with Benchmade 154 steel. It will rust on you. You got to keep it, lubricant covered in moist environments. But tough. Cuts well, wears an edge well. Maybe a little bit harder to sharpen. Maybe. Just depends who you are, what you're using. I love it. Blade shape, I absolutely love. A lot of belly in there, right? I love the belly, especially for an EDC blade. Food preparation, opening boxes. This is again is where most of the wear will take place in your knife blade. I love the belly. And it's full flat ground. Not full, but flat ground from the upper swedge area. Right here. Nicely done. Love it. And by the way, that's a very similar blade shape to the 550 and 551 by Benchmade. Previous reviewed, highly recommended. Here in the Nutnfancy project, right there. And I actually like the 950 blade a little bit better. Why? Because it has more of a full, I keep saying full, but flat ground profile. You guys know I like the FFG, man. Love it. And if I can't get full flat ground, I'll take as much flat ground as I can. Call me crazy. Great blade shape. Strong tip, by the way. Proven in my own tests, and yet it's delicate enough for some serious, detail work if you need to. Love the blade shape. Great job from Warren Osborne. How about speed? Well, I think the 950, if it's working the way it should, is a wicked fast blade. Yes, the 950 SBK I looked at on that initial tabletop had some issues. Was it the coated blade, the adjustment? I don't know. But I think a Benchmade out of box should be very fast, like I said in the intro. And this one sure is, as are pretty much every other 950 I've looked at. Okay, that's another reason I'm redoing the video. Get the right information out there as best I can. I like my information to be correct whenever possible. Speed is excellent. Lockup and strength. Well, I think out of the box 950s are extremely strong. No side-to-side movement, no up and down play. There is a little bit in mine, though. I can't lie to you guys. Just a little bit. Listen. You can't hardly hear it. It's just a tiny amount. Honestly, though, I think it's because I took the knife apart. The tolerances on Benchmades are tight. I'm just going to tell you that. Yes, I put it together correctly. I do knife takedowns and put togethers all the time. It's put together correctly, but ever since I put it together, I just can't tighten it to the point where I get a fast deployment and totally get out all the movement side to side. Is it a huge deal? Not really. After my stabbing test, do I have any movement up and down on the 950? Nope, it's strong. Just a little bit side to side. The strength normally, though, is outstanding, and for that little side to side movement, I'm going to take the hit for having taken the knife down. I know Benchmade's going to watch this like, dude, don't take your knife apart. Yeah, I got to experiment, man. Why don't you guys mill that liner out? That's what you should be doing. Kind of like the 710 McHenry Williams, yo. Just like that. That's what you should be doing on the 950, Benchmade. Why don't you do that? It's not hard, and you do it right, unlike the Nutnfancy method, apparently. Handle material. I love it. Sculpted G10, black, charcoal. You know, it's a simple design, but it's a striking appearance. One of the best looking production scales in 2010 and 29, if you ask me. Great looking handles. Let's jump into the Benchmade catalog, and we'll show you snapshot in time, subject to change. Other color variations, just solid black is what they have. I think now they have a carbon fiber 950 that is through a certain retailer if you go to the website. Again, that's snapshot in time, might go away. Told you about the ergonomics problems I had with it, but the traction on it, I won't say is excellent. I'd be lying. It's okay. It's okay. Excellent would be the very aggressive G10, I don't know, on the Cold Steel Recon 1. Previous reviewed, recommended in TMP. That is excellent. At least on the side. I mean, on top it has issues. Okay. This is okay. It's good traction. Definitely a handsome knife. And guys, you know, your mileage may vary. Ergonomics. I think overall excellent, except for the lack of jimping in a tactical roll. Heck, forget tactical roll. Just in a use roll, I like jimping. I like a traction plan of some sort. Now, beyond that, and once I sanded the handle scales, it does feel very nice in hand. Reverse grip, very doable. Yep. Would you need that in an EDC blade? Probably not. Ergonomics are pretty excellent with the axis lock, though, don't you think? I love the axis lock. I've always said that in my reviews. It's strong. It accounts for wears. It gets used through the years. One of my favorite locking mechanisms. I have noticed this, though. Having carried this knife, this exact knife, in several tactical shoots, the axis lock will get dust in it and it will affect the deployment. In fact, I got this thing so dirty, there's another reason I had to take it apart to clean it. I mean, like all the way, because there's dust and grit in the axis lock mechanism because it's open on the side. No, it's not just the axis lock, and a lot of other knives are that way. Even lockbacks can be that way. Okay, just a little data point for you. Clip design is normal. It's that standard, you know, Benchmade clip we've seen on a lot of designs. You're stuck, though, at least for tip up carry. So if you don't like tip up carry, you may not dig it. And like we talked to Benchmade in the 2010 SHOT Show, any assisted knife will carry tip down, but since it's a manual action knife completely, they'll let you carry it tip up. You can reverse it for left and right. That's good. So if you're a lefty, there's a lanyard hole right there. And by the way, handle construction is total pillar design, which I love. And since we're looking at it, check out the centering in the handle. It's perfection. Nice. Benchmade gets it right. Gets it right. Handle retention is actually pretty excellent as well. The knife does not shake out easily. You know, off camera, if I really sling it, it'll pop out. And that's about exactly what I want in a high quality folding knife. Clip design is great. Oh, by the way, it carries pretty deep in pocket too. Just a little bit showing, not too bad. Durability is outstanding. Seriously. Mostly due to that 154 cm steel. That's, again, a very hard wearing steel. High carbon stainless steel. you know, and it just rocks. It holds an edge very well. At least this one does. I don't think you're going to have any issues with your 950 Rift through the years. And honestly, I think that's why some guys just absolutely love this knife, is because they have used it very, very hard through the years, and it just keeps on wearing, keeps on locking up tight, hasn't broken, has a strong tip. I haven't heard of any tip breakages. Yes, they may be out there. I just haven't heard of them. On to value. Moderate. It's not great because the knife is going to ballpark around 150 bucks. Okay, for that money, you're going to get an outstanding knife. There's no doubt about it. You might find it for less, might find it for more, but that's a lot to pay, you know. And a lot of guys, you know, they watch my reviews, and I cover a lot of other knives that are less expensive and that have just as much, if not more, utility. Some of them even Benchmade. The 710 McHenry Williams. That is a great knife. You know, a large tactical knife, yes, doesn't have super great jimping. This one's Duracoated by me. Great knife, and at least when I bought it, priced less than the 950. I think I got this one for about 107 bucks once upon a time. Isn't that Duracoat sick looking? Love that coloration. I didn't bead blast it first though, just sanded it. I wish it was bead blasted like Mission Spec Camo does. So that's just, I don't know, a representation. Then you have the Cold Steel AK-47, just because I have it here on the desk. You know, it's going to be a lot less than the 950. Is it the same POU? I kind of think this is a tactical knife, you know, because it's got a good traction plan. You can throw some skateboard up here. Really envelops a hand. I don't want to do an AK-47 review, already reviewed, but a lot less than the 950. That's my point. You know, Benchmade fans will know that it's money well spent. I mean, it's good. It's a great knife. You know, great steel, is tough, solid lockup, very fast deploying. The axis lock is wicked, and the cool factor is in spades. Again, look at the looks. It is a good looking blade. The Benchmade 950 Rift. This is my favorite version. Like I said, I love the satin finish, contrasting against the gray and black G10 handle scales. The open design, I love that. Great knife, 950. The downsides are the ones I've said. It's maybe a little bit heavy. Maybe a little bit. I know, for most guys, they don't care. For me, there's a few lighter knives, you know, a few heavier knives too. But the sharp shoulders on the side, slight disadvantage, you know, you can fix that. That's about it. Seriously, because the speed was just that one model. It's a fast knife. Ultra cool knife. You can spend the money on the 950 Rift. You will love it. Nutnfancy, signing off.